Good morning, my fellow fools. It's Mr. Maclunkey back again with another round of GAC. I know I have not really done too many GAC recordings as of late. I usually find that, like, in terms of timing and scheduling, it's hard to record the GAC all in one go, and it's a pain in the butt to edit it together if it's all these bits and pieces. Difficult to kind of have a through line of commentary. I also not sure how many people even really watch or enjoy the GAC content. So if this is a series that you want to see me do more of, please leave a comment down below. Otherwise, it'll probably continue to be this sort of sporadic thing where just whenever I get a chance to, I'll hop in. So as you can see, I've had pretty good luck with this 3v3 GAC so far. Wound up pulling off 2 wins here, and I'm going into round 3. I was actually a little nervous for round 3. My opponent here, Kai Gali, I did a little bit of initial scouting and saw, okay, so he's a little higher in GP, 15 million. He's currently maxing out the new tunes, which I think is also a little scary. So I'm seeing also like a few Relic 10 GLs. Most of his GLs are Relic 9. C's the only one who's lagging behind. Relic 10 on Hate Fuel, Relic 10 on Bane. Relic 10 on Moff Tarkin for some reason. Duel's End, Stranger at 9. Like, he has a lot of these very powerful teams up at the top. I am seeing he has also a full Omicron Inquisitors kind of person, so maybe not necessarily all in on the kind of competitive edge. Maybe a little bit of fun and whimsy in the roster here, at least as far as I'm seeing. So I was kind of doing a little bit of the scouting, like pretty solid, strong roster. And as I was thinking about how I wanted to approach this, I'm like, even then, I think all of his tunes, he probably has everyone unlocked at Relic 5 or higher, which is one of my goals eventually. Obviously, I want to do the raid first and foremost, get raid ready, and have kind of some of those teams that I want to invest in for Rise of the Empire. But I'm like, it would be nice, even just for Datacron purposes. That's one thing I've been trying to do as part of like my relic hygiene, is go back through and put R6s at least on some of my characters that are going to be in some of my teams, just for the Datacron compatibility. Speaking of Datacrons, I did flip over to his Datacron section. This guy has a lot of Datacrons, which obviously makes me pretty nervous. I invest in Datacrons, but not nearly to this extent. This is someone I'm seeing who probably has the Fortnite Battle Pass and the Conquest Pass and all that stuff. So, gonna have to see how that plays out. Again, in terms of fleets, R9 on Leviathan, R9 on Profundity, only R8 on Executor, which I thought was kind of interesting. So fleets maybe not necessarily as overinvested as the rest of his roster, but definitely a pretty challenging foe. I did see, because I was nervous about this, I was on a winning streak. I went in and saw in a little bit of the GAC scouting report on SWGoH.gg that he has struggled in the past against Quadme teams and against Heroic Sith. So I did end up going through, and I did sneak my Heroic Sith into the back here, and kind of just left that be. He didn't get quite to that point, because I snuck Quadme onto the front. I've been using Quadme for offense lately, and she's been kind of my go-to for Stranger, so I'm a little nervous about leaving her on defense, but 6 holds. She kind of held this whole thing together here. And he does have Stranger up on the thing here, so I'm going to have to figure out how to contend with that. This is probably going to be a little bit more of a slow and methodical GAC compared to my kind of YOLO approach that I've taken in the past. So from the looks of it, I'm going to need to either clear 2.5 sectors better than he did, or clear sectors any kind of anything goes. So I'm going to start with some of the kind of more tricky ones first. And especially, so no Vaincron, which I thought was interesting. I should take a look. Because assumedly he would have Vaincron, right? Is he doing something sneaky? Yeah, Vaincron right there. So I am curious as to where that Vaincron is and why he's not running Hondo in that way. You know what? I'm actually going to start with this. I'm going to take my Jabba up against his Balin here. We'll give this a shot. So, I mean, the trick with this one is you want to use Jabba more for the thermals than for his ult, because Balin will prevent any of those shenanigans. So we're just going to keep chipping away. And the more ult meter that Jabba has, the more thermals he's going to throw. That's something that I only found out recently, and I feel like such an idiot. Jabba was my second GL, and the one that I used most often for a very long time. And I just didn't read that part of the kit. I was always like, oh yeah, there's some mechanic where he ramps up. I didn't know it was tied to the alt bar. But that's the value of reading, folks. You want to make sure that you're able to read and read well. I don't know if this is the efficient or correct way to do this, but I do usually like to take out the ads first before I go for Balin himself. Just because I think they're usually a little easier to kill than him. Damn. Always sucks losing her. Alright, well the thermals just handled that for me. Not bad. Okay, and I know I like to take Bane against that typically, but sometimes I'll go for C. That Stranger one is going to be tough. So I think, I mean, without the focus Datacron, he's just got a lot of potency, starting with extra turn meter. That Relic 10 Maul is going to be a pain in the butt. I could bring in Satil, which is what I think would make the most sense. I'm going to be operating at a Relic Delta, unfortunately. Let's see what I'm working with here. Health, Tenacity, Armor Pen. Might not be the worst to throw on these guys. So I think the main goal is just to kill one of these guys. I did make some coffee, I just have not had a chance to drink any of it yet. Alright, we're gonna get the Star Destroyer coming down. Okay, that's good. Okay. Damn. Gonna be tricky. Glat, I know hypothetically. What is this from? Evade and attack. That's nasty. I know for Glat, I could take in Kylo would be the easy mode way to do this. Does he have Rey over here? He does. Rey with Zalbar. What's Zalbar doing here? Whenever an ally recovers protection, gains foresight. That's annoying. Zalbar's Omicron, does that do anything here? Gains retribution whenever he loses retribution or taunt. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to do the full thing in threes, but seemed annoying at the very least. This guy does have a tricky defense set up here. I could try my Night Sisters counter here. If this fails, I'm going to be in a rough spot. Let's see. It seems like my best bet is going to be to bring this guy in. He has Ezra and Speen. Yeah, it seems like the win rates are not great against this. I think I am going to bring in Kylo. Because I do not want this to just become one of those slog type fights where I just try to do an easy counter and fumble it and have to keep redoing counters. I think the goal here is just going to be to kind of go for a quick, decisive victory against some of these high tier 2s and then kind of figure some of the rest of this out as we go. See if we can bring him back. Oh, I should have used the... Oh, cool, we got Hux back. I'm just gonna run this on auto, because I don't think I'm missing anything better than this, and it's just gonna be pretty tanky. Effort of time concentration. I just want this. There's a lot of that one. Nice. And then Partagaz. Let's see. Partagaz, there's no 3v3 insight, unfortunately. Yeah, 'cause he was not around. Looks like in 5v5, Jedi Master Mace Windu was able to take him out. He does have both Omicrons and the Datacron. Nothing too great. 144% defense, that's annoying. But I'm thinking, honestly, that might be my best bet, is to bring, like, the Mace team in. hit. Protection up. Let me throw this one on here. I want to save some of those other crowns for different fights. So I'm pretty sure the KX droid is where a lot of the damage is going to be coming from. Jedi Master Mace is kind of nice in threes, because having one person just like out of the battle for so long, it really tears a lot of these things apart. Alright, Partagas is back in the battle. Is Partagas one of those guys that flees when he's playing with his buddies? Yes. Okay, cool. And then Leia. Leia is a tricky one here with the Drogon Krons. We've got Drogon, which is kind of a given, and then R2, which I know some people have been mixing it up. Okay, so Bane can do it, but Bane is also great for taking out a lot of the rest of these fellows. That's not a very high win rate with Wampa. This might have to be my Bane, my Bane run here. Like some people are running Revan alongside this. Drogon's out. I feel like as long as she doesn't revive the whole team here. Yeah, I feel like this is the goal here now. Because now I just need Bane to outscale her before she can get another ult and potentially bring Drogon back. Now Quadme. So clearing Quadme and the boys without Bane. I know C can do it. And I don't know. Do I like without his Vayne? Vaincron, because let me think. Because I know with Vaincron, typically Kenobi, which I'm probably still going to use Kenobi and Watt against Hondo just to prevent the revives. Let's see. Yeah, what do I use against Quadmate here? Great Mothers, potentially, it looks like, has a decent win rate against Quadmate. Anything crazy on the Datacron? A lot of defense, a lot of crit damage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if I might end up going Great Mothers on this one just to give it a shot. Let's see. These two, and then probably Spirit. Let's see. I don't have the GAC Insights thing on SWGoH. 75% win rate on this team. I don't necessarily have like a specific cron here. A little bit of defense might help. Now, I don't know who you usually should target first. Probably Quadmate if possible. I don't know. Probably look up these counters before going into them. Okay, this feels very good now, actually. Nice. We'll just whittle them down. I've never used Great Mothers against Quadmate, but this is crazy. I love this. Sweet. Alright, is there anything crazy in the back line here? Yeah, a few tricky things in the back line. I want to do the front line first if I'm able to try and get access to ships. I think that's what I'm going to try and do here. So I think I am going to still use, even though he doesn't have, what do you call it? He doesn't have the Vaincron on this guy, which, that I don't know. I should probably look this up if this is some, like, secret OP nonsense thing, or if for whatever reason he just didn't do this. So it's no Vayne, it's Silvo and the robot, which you really don't see. What is that guy called? I'm like super blinking on it. SM3. 33. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be just a significantly, on the surface, weaker version of this comp. So it looks like people have beaten this without Watt. But I'm wondering, because I kind of want to use Watt Tambor. I mean, Watt Tambor would make my Sith Eternal Emperor a lot better. But I feel like I don't want to risk it since it is a Relic 9 and Relic 10 team. I'm getting nervous with it. I am surprised Watt has stayed around this long. I think at this point it is just auto. Stack armor shreds until he goes down. Definitely not as hard as when Vayncron's in play. But like I said, I wanted to be better safe than sorry and really waste my Kenobi team. All the dodges, man. Alright, Lord Vader counters here. So he is Vader with Oppo and CX. So Leia could take him out easily, but I'm wondering if Leia might be good for Stranger, or who beats Stranger? So that's going to be my biggest pain point here, for sure. Maul and Star Killer. Okay. My Lord Vader's on defense. I can't do C-Bane. Tried and failed with Satele. My quad mate's on defense. It's like a low win rate attempt, 53% with C. Well, I'd used Watt, so I can't bring. 49% with Malik, Malgus, and C. 41% with Leia. That is pretty low for what I'd want to do with Leia. We could try C with Malik and Bane. Or Malik and, what's his name? I don't particularly want to use up those crons. But I also don't want to go in cronless. I'm wondering if it might be worth it to pivot. So if I clear down here and then chip away at this, I'd rather burst through here and take out his fleets. Let's see. So I'm also thinking about Ray counters here. So Ray with Ben and with Zalbar, which is an interesting combo. So my Star Killer is on defense. So that cuts me off from a few of those traditional sort of counters. My Balin is also on defense. Could potentially bring in a Seer Malicos team. See how Seer fares up in the anticipations. Seems somewhat doable. I'm running out of Datacrons. I really should have farmed more of these prior to lock. Just tore through everything. Okay. So how much would I get? Be 260 clear banners. So I'd need to get at least like 40 banners a clear in the back zone to be ahead of him. This might actually be doable. What's on this cron? Honestly, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna run Wampa against this and see how we do. Alright, we're getting a little low. A little nervous. Alright, got her out of the picture. I think at this point I might honestly be on like basic mode. Vulnerability. Can I clear that out? Alright, well, we took out Boosh, which is something. Let's see. I don't think I can spare the Datacrons. I would like to go back to just using solo Malgus for these, but I just don't trust it because of the relic delta. I need to bring my relic on Malgus, or not Malgus at some point. Okay. Maz Kanata, I feel like, is a Jedi team here. And I feel like if I use this Kron, I can probably two-man this. The one thing I am hoping is this isn't some elaborate bluff that he's got going to kind of trick me into like wasting a bunch of stuff, and then he just shows up and is like, no, actually I can totally clear your bottom lane. But granted, I feel like if he could do it, he would have done it already, and if he can do it, I'm screwed either way. Okay, so we have two Jedi Vanguard teams here. Then Jabba. I think Afra could take Jabba. In threes, I don't think so. Here. I don't know, I do have quite a few decent teams. I feel like Bo-Katan Mandalore could probably finish him off. Right, I should probably check that. I did say that I was going to do this more methodically, and then I feel like I did kind of break down into same old stuff. Yeah, so it seems like a lot of the time this is more often the lineup. Having the tank rather than the whistling birds. I'm gonna go no Kron.
No. No. No.
Get this guy out of the way. This Jabba's gonna get ult soon, and depending on who decides that, it's gonna hurt.
No.
Dang, he dodged the armor shred.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, he didn't take out. So I think I'm still in this. Keeps dodging the armor shreds, which is annoying. Yeah, the auto loop that I was on was not good. That sucks. Okay. Dude, this job of light, I am not handling that one. At least Chrysanthemum's out of the picture here. This Java counter might be like my biggest problem as of right now. Let's see. So it's Beck with Ferris. So it's not even with Jocasta. What do we got on the cron here? Okay, so that seems a little bit annoying. Some people are saying that these guys can clear him out pretty easily. I'll give it a shot. I throw this on auto for a bit. I feel like my strategy is not really doing a whole lot here. Not super familiar with this team on offense, but we'll start chipping away. See where this gets us. How to even approach this other than to just let this sit on auto and hope for the best. Try switching to back. Okay. Ooh, that was close. Way too close. Alright, Jedi Master Mace. I do have C without Watt. Let's see what else I've got here. A lot of my Sith Empire I've already used up. My Heroic Sith is on defense. Used Quad May. And obviously Leia could do this, but that seems a bit like overkill. Gungans? With Tartles? That's worth a shot. confident in this. Granted, I don't have any Datacrons left over. Alright, we got tarpals out here now. Maybe that'll do us something. Yeah, it didn't do nothing here. Imperial Remnant might be able to take this guy out.
Bastard!
Stack some blight on him.
Bastard!
Alright, cool. Should have done that earlier. $793 plus 260 puts me at 1053. Yeah, so this seems very much doable. I'm just gonna throw Leia into this here and just hope that he's already used up just about everything he's got. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a hard time getting through those two. I don't think there's any way in heck I'm breaking through much of this at this point. Let's see. Probably break through this Palpatine team at least. Vader Duel's End and Mara. Let's see. I think C should be able to beat this team. I don't know who with, though. Armor and the Trooper. Where is Sith Empire? There we go. Yeah, Datacrons. Well, I think that's probably about all I can do. I mean, Keller and Beck might be able to do something. I don't think anything against Lord Vader. Maybe against the Palpatine team. Oh, it looks like Dark Trooper Moff Gideon might be able to do something against this. Where did I see him on here? That's worth a shot. Hmm. Gonna see if I can do just any other little extra points here. Palpatine. Man, that's Albert. I don't think I've ever faced it up until this point. I don't know if I've got anything else that's really going to do a whole lot there. I don't think I have anything that's going to do a whole lot there. I think that's probably going to be it for me. There's about 5 hours left of this GAC here. So I don't think I covered this at the top, but it looks like blew through these pretty easily. Probably 2 of his meta ships, and then kind of struggled to finish off the negotiator there. Up top on here, got dropped the 1 battle on my clones. Kind of dealt with the rest of this lineup fairly easily. And then, like I had said, the kind of shining star of this was the Quad Me team. Dropped a couple banners against Reba, dropped quite a few against my Ray. Cleared this no problem. So I feel like he kind of started to run out of strong teams. Probably flubbed his key counter for this, started running low on teams, kind of ran out of teams for this. Unless he's pulling some sort of like master level switcheroo. I think I've got this. Managed to pull off a clean counter on his bottom lane there. And then in the back, did flub against a couple teams, but managed to get solid banners overall. Up here, just kind of threw shit at the wall. We'll cleared out Hondo first, then threw shit at the wall to try and get as many of these down as possible. I think I still might be able to beat this Ray somehow. I just don't know what that would look like specifically here. I'll let this play again. Let's see. Rogue One. This is about done. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. I probably won't upload this right away. I'll go ahead and wait until probably either tomorrow morning or later tonight after the GAC's finalized. That way I can kind of check back in, see if there were any last minute upsets, but I think we both kind of gave it our all, and this is where things landed. Thank you all so much for watching. See you in the post-game summary.
Maclunkey.
Hello, SWGoH. It is Mr. Maclunkey here, future Maclunkey. I went to go back in here to review the last match, but we've got a new GAC starting soon. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I can get back to that screen. I do apologize for that. I had some time early in the morning yesterday to get the actual matches recorded. But you know me, I don't like to necessarily count my chickens before they hatch. So I always like to wait to record a retrospective until after the final score is locked in. So unfortunately, I can't necessarily go back to that video. However, he didn't launch any more attacks against him. I didn't really launch any more attacks. He didn't launch any attacks against me. I didn't launch any attacks against him. I do apologize. Like, this is bright early in the morning here. Ooh, raid rewards. Bright early in the morning. Haven't had a chance to even make my coffee yet. But yeah, taking a look at things. Things are going well with TB. Was able to get 3 wins in a row in GAC. Learned some helpful tips on strategy, so I'm thinking I might do a video at some point soon, just kind of going over what my general philosophy is in terms of strategy for GAC, and kind of how that varies. Maybe do one for like my 3v3 and then one for 5v5. Granted, I mean, the GAC meta is always evolving. New tunes get released, new Datacrons, that sort of thing. So, and always, like, I guess in general, the roster tends to evolve. Right now I've been hoarding pretty hard, getting ready for the next raid. So, like, in terms of roster improvements, nothing too crazy at this point. I am hoarding Zetas for sure. Omicrons, not as much. There's been like a few Omicrons I've applied recently, so we'll see how things go. But anyway, yep, just wanted to let you know, did manage to pull off the win in GAC and lock in. There was no last minute shenanigans. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you. Bye.